Medical play is a therapeutic approach that uses real and pretend medical equipment, stuffed animals, and dolls to work with children to not only understand the hospital itself, but also what is happening with their own bodies.
Here, I don't want to squish that one. Here. Or this one. Tucker, where's Tucker going to sit? Right here?
Yeah, by the horsey.
Okay, right there? Or that's maybe like right there. Why is he tipping over? Okay. Today we're going to read Curious George Goes to the Hospital. Do you like Curious George? I like Curious George.
I don't like that book.
You don't?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is George. He lived with his friend, the man with the yellow hat. How about I put it over here so we can both see? He was a good little monkey. He was a good little monkey, but he was always curious. Today, George was curious about the big box on the man's desk. What could be in it? George could not resist. He simply had to open it. It was full of funny little pieces of all sorts of shapes and all sorts of colors. George took one out. It looked like a piece of candy. Maybe it was candy. Maybe he could eat it. George put the piece in his mouth, and before he knew it, he had swallowed it. This says jigsaw puzzle on the box. What happens if you eat a piece of the puzzle? You know?
It froze up.
Maybe. A while later, the man with the yellow hat came home. Why, George, he said, I see you have already opened the box with the jigsaw puzzle. It was supposed to be a surprise for you. Well, let's get to work on it. Finally, the puzzle was finished. Well, almost finished. One piece was missing. Why is there one piece missing?
He swallowed it.
He ate it.
Yeah.
The man looked for it everywhere, but he could not find it. That's strange, he said. It's a brand new puzzle. Well, it cannot be helped. Maybe we'll find it in the morning. Let's go to bed now, George. The next morning, George did not feel well. He had a tummy ache and did not want to eat his breakfast. The man was worried. He went to the telephone and called Dr. Baker. I'll be over as soon as I can, said the doctor. Why does he have a tummy ache, June?
I don't know.
You don't know? Is it because he ate the puzzle piece?
Yeah.
Yeah. First, Dr. Baker looked down George's throat and felt his tummy. He said, ah, and felt his tummy. And then he took his stethoscope and listened. His stethoscope goes around his ears and listens to your heart and listens to your breathing. And then he listened. I'm not sure what's wrong, he said. You'd better take George to the hospital and have an x-ray. I'll come home and let them know you are coming. Don't worry, George, said the man when they were driving to the hospital. You have been there before when you broke your leg. Remember how nice the doctors and nurses were? George held his big rubber ball tight as they walked up the hospital steps. A nurse took them down a long hall to the room where she gave George something to drink that looked like white and tasted sweet. It is called barium, the nurse explained. It helps the doctors find out what is wrong with you, George. In the next room stood a big table, and a doctor was just putting on a heavy apron. Then he gave the man one just like it. George was curious. Would he get one too? No, he did not. You get on that table, George, said the doctor. I'm going to take some x-ray pictures of your insides. He pushed a button, and there was a funny noise. What do you think it sounded like, June? Like, or what do you think?
It sounded like an elephant.
An elephant? What does that noise make? Like that?
No, it sounded like a dog.
Like a dog? Okay, what did it sound like? Ooh. Okay. There, now you may get up and we will have the x-rays developed right away. Now let's see, there is something there that should not be, said the doctor when they were looking at the x-rays. Why, that looks like, I think that must be the piece that was missing in our jigsaw puzzle yesterday, said the man. Well, 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 said the doctor. At least we know what's wrong with our little patient. I'll tell Dr. Baker right away. George will have to stay at the hospital for a few days. They'll put down a tube down his throat to get a piece out. It's only a small operation. I'll call a nurse and have her take you to the admitting office. What do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Many people were waiting outside the office. George had to wait too. Look, Betsy, the woman next to him said to her. Little girl, there's Curious George. Betsy looked up for a moment, but she did not even smile. Betsy had never been to a hospital before, and she was scared. Finally, it was George's turn. A pretty young nurse took him to the next room. My, how many rooms there are, and how many nurses there were. One nurse wrote down a lot of things about George, his name, his address, and what was wrong with him. Another nurse put a bracelet around his wrist.
She looks. Why her face is mad?
I don't know. I don't think she's mad. I think she is just colored in from the book. I think that's just red paint. Another nurse put a bracelet around his wrist.
She's mad.
You think? Well, I think we'll find out. It has your name on it, George, so she said, so that everybody knows who you are. Then the pretty young nurse came back. My name is Carol, she said. I'm going to take you to your room now. We'll call it the children's ward.
What's her name?
That's the nurse named Carol.
What's his name?
That's the man with the yellow hat.
No, what's his real name?
I don't know. I don't think we know. I'm going to take you to your room now, and we'll call it the children's ward, and we put you to bed. There will be lots of children to keep you company. And so it was. There were a lot of children in the room. Some were up and around, and others were in their beds, with a doctor and a nurse looking after them.
And then he says, boing.
Boing. Is
And
he gonna
then
play
he-
with the kids?
And then he eats that kid.
No. Dave was having a blood transfusion. Steve had a leg bandage and was sitting in a go-kart. Betsy was in bed looking sad. George got to the bed next to Betsy. George.
Where's Betsy?
Betsy where is Betsy? I think Betsy's right here.
No, she's
That's,
not.
she's not in her bed, but that's her bed.
Here, let me see her.
Okay. There she is. Betsy.
Is she afraid?
I think she is afraid. Just a little bit. Okay. George was glad when he was in his bed at last. His tummy was hurting again. The man sat with him for a while. Now I have to leave, George, he finally said. I'll be back first thing in the morning before they take you to the operating room. Nurse Carol will tuck you in when it's time to sleep. Then he left. George just sat there and cried. As he had promised, the man was back early next morning. The nurses were keeping George very busy. One nurse was taking his
And then
temperature.
he sits on her.
No, what? The nurses were keeping George very busy.
And then he sits on her.
He sits on the bed?
Now he sits
On the
her.
nurse?
Yeah.
Well, that's just silly. Why does that happen? You don't know. One nurse was taking his temperature and one was taking his blood pressure. One was giving him a pill to make you sleepy, George, she said.
I like this stuffed animal.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. And one was getting ready to give him a shot.
Hey,
Hey,
what is this on the horsey?
it's a little bow.
Is
It's,
it a boy one?
I don't know. Is it a boy or a girl? What do you think?
A boy.
It's a boy.
Yeah. Because boy horses are brown.
Yeah? Huh. It's going to hurt, George, she said, but only for a moment. She took his arm and George let out a scream. But the needle hasn't touched you yet, said the nurse, laughing. There, now it's done. That wasn't so bad, was it? No, it really was not. And anyway, it was over now. Would you like to sit on my lap? Are you crawling over here to see? By the time the attendant came with the stretcher to wheel him to the operating room, George was getting sleepy. Yeah, remember when you had your poke at the doctor's office?
Yeah.
Yeah? How did that make you feel?
I was not sad.
You weren't sad?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't screaming.
You weren't?
Yeah.
That is awesome. Good job. He tried to stay hard awake, and he was curious to see what would happen
My
next.
leg hurt a little bit at the doctor.
It did hurt a little bit,
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the doctor.
but then it went away, right? The hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah. He could see a big table with bright lamps over it and doctors and nurses
The
all
pain
around.
went away.
It did go away. Did you have another boo-boo?
No.
Nope.
Just one.
Just one. They had caps on their heads and masks over their faces. Only their eyes were showing. One of the doctors winked at George and patted his head. It was Dr. Baker, who had been to the house when it all had started.
Oh, patted his head.
The doctor, this one right here. Because you knew him.
I don't know him.
Yeah, that's okay. And then George was fast asleep. Oh, your head hit the plug. That's so silly. Bonk, bonk. When George woke up, he did not know what had happened. He did not even know where he was. Then he saw Nurse Carol. "It's all done, George," she said. "They got the piece out. In a day or two, you'll be running around again." The man had brought him a picture book, but George felt sick and dizzy. His throat was hurting too. He was not even curious about the new book.
That's who throat hurt?
I don't know. We don't know what her procedure was. What she had to go to the hospital for. Her throat might hurt if she had to have surgery.
She doesn't.
She doesn't, no. "We'll let him sleep," said Nurse Carol. "The more he sleeps, the better." The next morning, George felt better.
Boing.
Boing! He even ate a dish of poop, ice cream. Poop! You're gonna get hurt. All right, Dr. Baker came to see him and the man, of course. Oh, sit down. We gotta finish the book. Ew. All right, are you gonna let me finish? You silly goose. Betsy was watching him from time to time. She seemed a little less sad, but she still did not smile. Steve wheeled his go-kart over to George's bed. "Tomorrow I can get up and try to walk," he said. "Boy, I can hardly wait." "I'll take you to the playroom now, George," Nurse Carol said the next morning, "and in the afternoon, your friend will come and take you home." The playroom was full of children. A lady was showing Betsy how to use finger paint. There were all sorts of things to play with, even a puppet theater, and that was just the thing for George.
Where's the puppet?
Right there.
What?
Right here. With all the puppets, and there's
No,
George.
I'm talking about those ones.
Oh, those are the puppets, yes. There's a police officer, a bear, a clown, and a dinosaur.
I like dinosaurs.
Yeah. I know you do.
But not clowns.
No, I don't like clowns either.
Are they scary?
I think there are nice clowns. He had 4 hands, so he could handle 4 puppets at the same time. George gave a real puppet show with a dragon and a clown and a bear and a policeman. The children laughed and shouted, and even Betsy, for the first time, smiled a little.
That's not a dragon.
It's not? Yeah, it's not a dragon. It looks like a dinosaur to me. Does it look like a dinosaur to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a dragon.
Yeah.
There was a TV set in the playroom and also a record player. George was curious. If he climbed on the record player and turned the switch, would it go round and round like a real merry-go-round? It did, and he started slowly, and then it went faster and faster, and whoopee! George had lost his balance and was sailing through the air. Look at him. At least there's a little pillow over here.
Daddy, can jump on that.
Yeah. Luckily, George had landed on a soft cushion. The children cheered, and Betsy smiled again. George was so funny. But then the play lady picked George up. "That's enough for now," she said. "You'd better take a nap before lunch. We have a big day ahead of us. The mayor is coming to visit the hospital today, and later on you will be going home, George." When George woke up, Steve was just taking his first steps. A nurse was helping him, and the children were watching. The go-kart was standing there empty, and George was curious. He looked at it, then climbed into it. What do you think is going to happen? He's going to climb into the go-kart. Something bad going to happen? Maybe? Then he grabbed the wheels, and then, while nobody was looking, he wheeled the go-kart right out of the room. George could make the go-kart go very fast. Yes. This was fun. Down the hall he went. By now the nurse had noticed that he was gone and came running after him.
1,
Yeah,
2,
he's going fast.
4, 5, 6, 7,
That's my
8,
finger.
9, 10, 11, 12,
12,
14, 16, 18, 19.
By now the nurse had noticed that he was gone and came running after him.
Wait, watch.
What?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
George, she shouted. Good job counting. But George was too excited to listen. He wheeled around the corner.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10! He wheeled around a corner and down the ramp to the floor below, where some men were busy pushing lunch carts and lots of doctors and nurses were showing the mayor around. Oh no, is he gonna run into them?
Yeah.
Yeah? George tried to stop, but it was too late. Wham! The go-kart landed right in the middle of everything. Lunch carts tumbled, spinach and scrambled eggs and strawberry jam were all over the floor. People fell over each other, and George was thrown out of the go-kart and landed right in the mayor's arms. Look, there he is. That's so silly. What a mess it was. You broke all my dishes, someone cried. He ruined the go-kart, complained another. What will the mayor think of it, whispered someone else. And so it went. Suddenly, everybody looked up and listened. From above came happy laughter, and there stood Betsy laughing, laughing, and laughing. Then the children joined in, and then the mayor started laughing, and finally, everybody just laughed and laughed. Everybody, that is, except George. Why was George not laughing?
There's two monkeys.
I think those are the same monkey. There's different pages. This is when they weren't laughing, and that's when they're laughing. Why do you think George wasn't laughing?
They are laughing, laughing,
Mm-hmm.
laughing, laughing, laughing.
Laughing.
And
Hey, George, why is he not laughing? George is not laughing.
Laughing.
Let's turn the page and find out why George isn't laughing. Betsy came running down the ramp, threw her arms around George, and kissed him. Don't be sad, George, she said. The whole thing was so funny. Ew. I never laughed so much in my life. I'm so glad you were in the hospital with me. Now the doctor at the hospital spoke. I am sorry this happened, Mr. Mayor, he said, but I think we'll just clean up the mess and be done with it. George, he went on, you've made a terrible mess, but you've also made our sad little Betsy happy again, and that is more than any of us has done. And now I see your friend has just come to take you home. So goodbye, George, and take good care of yourself. You are gonna get hurt. The children crowded around the window saying, waving goodbye when George and the man with the yellow hat were finally leaving the hospital. As the car was turning into the driveway, Nurse Carol came running after them. Nurse, a little package is something that belongs to you, George, she called. But don't open it before you're home. What do you think is in the package from the nurse? I don't know. Should we find out? George was curious. Well, who would not be? The moment he reached home, he ripped the paper off, tore open the box, and there was the piece of the puzzle that had caused all of the trouble to begin with. How nice of the doctor to save it for us, said the man with the yellow hat. And now we can finish the puzzle. The end. What do you think? We have a stethoscope just like the ones Curious George had. You want to put these on your ears and see?
No, you do it.
Okay, I'll do it first. Where's your horsey? Should we listen to his heart? Let's see. All right, where's his heart? Probably down here. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm listening to his ears.
Good job. That's an otoscope. You're listening to his ears. Are they good? Are they safe? Do you want to listen to his heart? It sounded pretty good. What do you think? You want to listen?
Oh.
Those are Band-Aids. Should we we'll give him a shot and then maybe put a Band-Aid on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's put that to the side.
Give him a shot.
Should we check his blood pressure first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
Band-Aid.
And then the Band-Aid. Okay. All right. This is a blood pressure cuff. Let's put it around his neck. What about his foot? His leg?
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually we put these blood pressure cuffs around your arm. All right, you want to wrap it on there for me tight?
Yeah.
Okay, really tight, good job. And then it's going to give you a nice hug on your arm. And you're going to squeeze it up real nice. And it'll measure your blood pressure. Now we can take it off. What a good patient we have. He's such a good patient. Okay, now Band-Aid, we gotta get the shot out. Okay, we forgot to take the temperature. Oh, here. You can go in his ear or in his mouth. What do you think? Okay. Does he have a fever?
Yeah. It's 40.
40. Wow, that is a big fever.
Oh, this is 40.
Is he healthy or is he sick?
Healthy.
Healthy. Okay. He needs to get a shot to stay healthy too, right? Do you want to use this shot or do you want to use that shot? We can both use one. You want to use both?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get a Band-Aid ready for after the shot to put on the boo-boo. It'll be one poke, and then it'll be over. Can you tell your horsey you're going to give him a shot? A little poke on his arm. Say, horsey, I'm going to give you a poke, and then put a Band-Aid on. Oh, what a good patient we have. Okay, let me open this Band-Aid for you.
Is it a play Band-Aid?
It's a real Band-Aid. See, you want to put it on the horsey? Here you go.
Wait. I don't want one of those.
It'll come right off, but you don't have to put it on if you don't want to. You want to put it on him?
No.
Okay, we can pretend. Here, ready? Oh, what a nice Band-Aid. Is our patient all healthy? Okay, we'll take it off. Is our patient all better now that he went to the doctor? There's a syringe. You can give him some medicine. This is a syringe. You want to give him some medicine?
Yeah.
Okay. In his mouth. What a good patient. Yum. What do you think the medicine tastes like? Bubble gum?
Yeah.
Yeah? Delicious. All right. Did you want to check his heart?
Yeah.
Okay, put it in your ears. Okay. Now we got to take this and put it onto his heart.
I want to do it.
Oh, look it. There's his heart. Does it sound good? Is he healthy?
Yep.
Yay! Awesome. So we have this fun little Dr. McStuffins checkup sheet. So we can put a heart sticker on each thing that we did. Did we listen to his heart?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, here's your sticker. You want to put it on there? Perfect. Good job. Did we take his temperature?
Yeah.
Yep. Sticker. This one. Good job. We didn't check his height, did we? Should we see how tall he is? We don't have a height thing. How tall do you think he is?
What are these ones?
Those are other stickers. How tall do we
Can I
think?
pick one of those?
Of course. How tall do you think our horsey is? 10 feet tall?
Yeah.
10 feet tall. Okay. And we're going to put that sticker right there. Good job. Yeah, we need to check his weight. How heavy do you think he weighs? Usually we would have a scale, but we don't have one. Does he weigh 2 pounds?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is 2 pounds.
2 pounds. Awesome. Here's a sticker.
I want one of those ones.
Okay. We can put this one on your shirt. Let me put this one here so we can say we checked that off. Did we look into his eyes?
Hey, I want to pick one of
Okay.
these ones.
We didn't look into his eyes with our otoscope.
Dragon.
Okay, we can do that. Do you want to look into his eyes quick?
Yeah.
Check his eyes. Make sure they're working. Are they working correctly?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Let me put a sticker on it. And we looked into his ears. Oops, where did that sticker go? We did. And we looked. Did we look into his nose and mouth? I don't think we did. We need to look into his nose. Look healthy?
Yeah.
Yep. What about his mouth? His other nostril? I think it looks good. Yeah? It's perfect.
I want to check his head
Okay, you can check his head.
and his nose.
Okay, yeah. What do you think?
Good.
Good. Do you have any boo-boos?
No.
Good. Awesome. And we checked his blood pressure with our blood pressure cuff earlier. This one, right? So we can mark that one off.
This one.
His tail. His tail needs to be checked too. We need to check his reflexes. Can I show you how to do that?
I want dragon on my shirt.
Okay.
On my Snoopy shirt.
On your Snoopy shirt.
Right here.
You want to put it on? Right on, Snoopy. That looks nice. To check his reflexes.
Wait, I don't want any.
Okay, you don't have to wear it. I'll put it back on here. To check his reflexes, we would use a reflex hammer.
Okay, let's check
And
this guy.
okay, we can check him. We need to check his reflexes. You just tap his knee with the reflex hammer, and he should kick to make sure his reflexes are working. Kick, kick. Awesome job, Tucker.
Now we have to do this.
Now we gotta give him a shot too, of course. And one last sticker. Do you want to put the last sticker on?
Shot.
He doesn't. Is he a little scared?
Yeah.
Yeah. What can you tell him to make him feel better?
Let's just don't do this shot.
Does he need the shot to get healthy?
No.
No, he doesn't. We don't have to do the shot on him right now.
Here, let's do this too.
Okay.
Can you put on his arm?
Yes. All right.
The arm.
Yes.
Can I?
It's a little big for his arm, but we will make it work. All right. Now push the air in, and we'll check his blood pressure. It looks normal to me. What do you think? Is it good? Is Tucker healthy? Yay! Good job, Tucker.
He needs a little more.
He needs a little more air on his arm?
Yeah.
It wasn't working right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Giving his arm a little squeeze. Perfect. And we had 2 brave patients today, so would you like to put the last sticker on here?
Yeah.
Okay. The last sticker goes right there because I was very brave and got a checkup. Awesome. Should we give Tucker a poke?
He's a little afraid.
He's a little afraid. Should we
Yeah.
tell him that it's okay to be afraid? It's okay to be afraid. And he'll get a nice Band-Aid afterwards and the pain will go away. Okay. Are you gonna give him the nice poke? It'll be really, really nice and easy. And then it'll be a little owie, ouch. And then he'll get a nice Band-Aid. You wanna pretend to put the Band-Aid on?
Yeah.
Okay, you can pretend. Perfect. It worked. Is he still a little scared? Did it hurt him?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you get your pokes, what do you do to help you? Do you sit with your mama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Does that help you feel better? What do we got? Oh, he has a fever.
Oh,
Oh.
That shot makes him feel sad.
Yeah. And he has a fever, it looks like, so the shot will make him feel better. Because it has
Yeah,
medicine in it.
Season.
And medicine makes you feel better. Have you had to take medicine before?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did it make you feel better?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
makes him feel sad.
That does. Oh, we should put that away then. It'll make him feel sad. Thank you so much for playing with us. And our patients were so brave today. What do you think?
But we had to check out of Tucker.
Okay, should we say goodbye to our friends on the video? And we can go ahead and check the rest of
Bye.
our... Bye! We can go ahead and check the rest of our patients.